Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to Proverbs chapter 4, where we conclude this wonderful chapter, on which this great stage, the grandfather, has been brought out. And by doing that, the author, the father, has shown us how what he's teaching, the wisdom he's bringing, is from old. It's not new and fresh. It's always been there, recognized from generation to generation. It is that wisdom that's always been there calling out to us. It is a wisdom, therefore, we should really be seeking because it's always been there and good for everybody before. That's why he's going to close up chapter 4. Again, calling out to his son to seek it, to grab hold of it with every part of his being. We're going to see how the whole body gets involved and try to grab hold of this wisdom so we can live it out. We're also going to see to what extent this is not just for Israel. This is also a calling for us. And I hope we'll hear it. So let's listen to what our Father has to say when he says, "My son, be attentive to my words. Incline your ear to my sayings." In this repetition, we see the importance of having really a focus, right? Incline your ears. Be attentive. It really demands focus. A real attentiveness to what is being said, to the teachings being given. It's not just being in a sermon and kind of listening here and there, or listen to an audio Bible once in a while paying attention. This is a determined focus. Your ears, your mind, therefore, needs to be focused on the teaching so you can really receive it. We take note of that. We take note of the purposeful focus here that's demanded. You know the word obedience, the Greek word that's used by Paul when he talks, for example, of children obey your parents. It speaks of having a heart and a mind that's leaning in to hear so that they can do what's being asked. It's not just a begrudging, "Okay, Dad, I'll do it," and then that's kind of half of what the parent said because they listen half. No, it's an attentiveness that says, "I want to know your rules so I can do them." That's what he's saying right now. The Father to the Son, to us. This full body focus will continue in the next verse. "Let them not escape from your sight. Keep them within your heart." This is what me thinks of Romans 12. Romans 12, what is it? Romans 12, in which Paul says that we are to give ourselves as a living sacrifice. Our whole mind, heart, body, life. As much as what you look at is what you say, and what you hear, and what you do. Everything given as a living sacrifice. Here's the Proverbs version of that. At first, your ears are inclined, but then your eyes keep that focus on. And don't let it escape. One word to the left or to the right, you just keep that focus on truth. You're reading the word and you're focused on it. You put in the effort to keep it on your heart. Why? Because your heart is wicked. Your heart wants to say, "Well, I don't have to do that. It's okay if I do that. And let's not be crazy about that." No, you keep it, you fight it. No, God said this is wrong, and God said this is right. I keep it. I fight to keep it in my heart. Same way I put in the effort not to let it escape my sight. So we see there's a determination. I want it, and I want to live it. That's what's supposed to be going on with this wisdom, this truth, these commandments of the Father. There's a reason for that. The author is going to add, because for they are life to those who find them, and healing to all their flesh. It's so popular nowadays to talk about healing. Well, here's the Proverbs version of it. Your very being, right? That's the idea of the flesh here. Don't think Paul flesh, think your entire being flesh. Your very person flesh. Well, no, the true healing. Not physical healing from physical ailments. That spiritual, emotional, true mental healing. That life that's worth living is for those, anybody, those who find them. Again, there's a diligence, right? There's just seeking after. Your ears are attentive, your eyes are looking for it, and you're putting every effort to keep it inside. And then you'll have wholeness of life inside of you. From the Father's law, rules, commandments, teachings, ways. You want that, and you want to live it out. That's going to be what's good for you. Again, in a day and age where we're seeking experiences and to use special messages from God, here's God saying, no, what you should be looking for is my laws and commandments. And that's going to be what's really good for you. Real healing and balm to your soul. He's going to continue with this diligent effort and reason for it in the next verse. Keep your heart with all vigilance, for from it flow the springs of life. And Jesus said that from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speak. Keep note of that. We just saw this important of putting every effort to keep also what we just got, what we found, to keep it in our heart, to keep wanting to apply it, to live according to it. He's saying the same thing here, right? You keep your heart with diligence. Why? Because again, your heart was going to say, it's okay to be frustrated here. It's justifiable to be angry here. No. God says it's a sin. Stop it. You're vigilant on that. Vigilant about the call to love that covers a multitude of sins done against us. You're vigilant on that. Because this heart, it flows out. See, when it talks about the springs of life, it could be corrupted life, poisonous life, sewage coming out of your heart, or all the good stuff you put in there. All the laws and ways of God, wisdom of God. Now, on this note of flowing out, we come back to what Jesus said, right? From the abundance of the heart. Which, of course, in his context, it's all about a sinful heart. But here, we're talking about a heart that's trying to feed on the word. So from this abundance of the heart, your mouth will speak. But if it's filled with good, good shall come out. Right? That's why he says this. Put away from you crooked speech, and put devious talk far from you. See, that's the idea. If your heart is kept in the truth and in the light and wisdom, then what should come out of it is God's law, God's truth. There should be a watchfulness over what comes out of your mouth. Again, the whole body is involved. And the way you receive it, the way it should also come out, will flow out. That's why there shouldn't be any crooked speech. See, that's why when Paul warns the Colossians and the Ephesians about putting to death the deeds of the flesh and put on Christ-like characteristics, he's going to talk about speech. And tell the Colossians chapter 4 that our speech should be seasoned with salt and bringing grace to people. Tell the Ephesians that there shouldn't be any crude or disgusting joking, and instead, what is to glorify God? Because again, from the heart that's not being fed on the word, good should be coming out, not disgusting things. See, it's from this point, it's going to keep on this warning path, but instead of warning for the good, seek and be diligent to get the truth and the right. He's going to say, yeah, be careful of the wrong though, too. Still a vigilant call, but be careful of the wrong is where he goes from this point on. He's going to say, let your eyes look directly forward and your gaze be straight before you. And he'll explain it. But now we see again, the whole body's involved. He's repeating himself in two different ways. Once again, one type of focus, one type of gaze, just straight forward. Not to the right, not to the left, only what's before you. For us as Christians, it's your total life with God. It's the New Jerusalem. It's looking like Jesus. Being glorified. Focus on that. Don't be distracted by the right or to the left. Keep that focus straight. I gotta look like Jesus. And the word says that's what it looks like right here. And that's not what it looks like. So get that out of my life. You keep that focus. That singular, purposeful focus, like a runner. You start being distracted by what's on the right and the left, or even if people are behind you, you'll slow down. You'll stumble. You keep that right focus. Speaking of stumbling and the dangers, he then adds, ponder the path of your feet. Then all your ways will be sure. To ponder yes, has this idea of consideration, but also this idea of making it straight, removing obstacles. You want to make sure that your feet have no problem that what's before you. Ponder it, consider it. Again, with that straight focus of this is what God wants, this is what wisdom is, I'm going to live according to that. That's going to keep me or my ways from being sure. That's what it's going to do the purpose. Like I said last time, we should be saying the Christian path is not just a race, it's an obstacle course, because there are ups and downs and difficulties to overcome and to grow from. And it doesn't take away from the obstacle course when you live by wisdom according to God's will. It doesn't. It helps you navigate them. It helps you grow from them, become stronger from them. But it doesn't take away. So you ponder, you consider, okay, here's the next obstacle. I know the best way to go through it, to make it through faster and better and not get hurt. That's going to make my way much more easy, much more sure and certain. That this part of the obstacle course will only help me get to the next point faster instead of falling into the mud and getting hurt. Because I pondered, because I reflected, because I get that singular focus of living according to the ways. And that's when he continues the warning. As I've said before about the dangers of the right and the left, it says, do not swerve to the right or to the left. Turn your feet away from evil. I've said it again and again, and this is why I was saying it, because that's where it ends up. By that singular focus, and that even when obstacles show up, trying to figure out how to go, instead of saying, how can I go behind that? How can I pass this obstacle without having to do it? Don't do that. Don't look to the right or to the left, how you can circumvent the obstacle. Don't look to the right or the left, what's been tempting you. Right? All this avarice of, if I only had this, if I only had that, I could make this run would be faster, would be better. Don't do that. Singular focus. Singular focus. It's when we get those distractions of, if I only was married, if we had a child, if we had a better job, then I could serve God better. No. Singular focus. I am to look like God. I am to look like Christ. Continue to follow God on this path and trust Him for the rest. Don't look to the right or the left. Keep focusing ahead of you so that way your foot won't turn away to evil. It is when these distractions get the best of us that we swerve off the path God gave us. That we fall off the obstacle course or even try to circumvent it into very bad ways. Now keep that singular focus. With every effort in you to grab hold of what God has said, keep it in your heart, living according to it, and making sure you follow it all the way through. Never turning to the right or the left. Like I said, this is not just for them, it's for us. We need it as Christians more than ever. Especially we live in a world that's filled with distractions. And with every kind of justification of saying, it doesn't have to be that intense. It doesn't have to be that crazy. You don't have to pick up your cross, die on yourself, and follow Jesus. You have to think of yourself a little bit. Yeah. Keep that singular focus. Take in God's word, all of God's truth. Apply it to your heart. Keep it. Be vigilant. Make sure it stays here so it affects the way you live. We need that, brothers and sisters. We need that military call right now by our Father to remain focused. It's not about being great and doing great things. It's just that singular focus. Living according to God's rule, law, commandment, and wisdom. And just staying focused on that. May He help us do it. Be blessed.